ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्ता स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जयो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to the Bhakti Shastri class. Let us take the blessings of Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Shri Gaurnitai and Srila Prabhupada before beginning the class. Shri Shri Radha Govinda ki jai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is the screen visible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. The photograph is visible.
So, what we have done in the last class, this is lesson number 9, the review, the second 11th chapter, second part. Arjuna is referring to Krishna as the Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakheti. When Arjuna came to know Krishna's position, he was bewildered, and in that Adbhuta Rasa, he forgot the Sakhya Rasa, and he is asking pardon to Krishna. Krishna, I have done so many mistakes in your association. Please pardon me. Like this, Arjuna is asking pardon from Krishna, and finally he requests Krishna that please show your Saumya Rupa, that is Chaturbhuja Rupa, and then he shows his Dvibhuja, two-handed form. Then finally the formula of Krishna consciousness given in 11.55, that is whatever, if you open the 11.55, मत्कर्म कृत मत्परमो मद्भक्ता संगवर्जितः निर्वैर सर्वभूतेषु यासं स्वमामेति पांडवा. Offer everything to the Lord and perform all your activities for the pleasure of the Lord. But how to do this? This is called as Bhakti Yoga, and this is the beginning for the next chapter, that is chapter number 12, Bhakti Yoga, which we'll be studying today. Today is the 10th lesson, chapter number 12. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be the most perfect." So here, this is the 12th chapter. Arjuna's question. Evam satata yuktaye bhaktyaastvam paryupasate e chapya aksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittama. Here Arjuna is asking Krishna whether your personal form is good to worship, or should I worship your impersonal form. So impersonal form and the personal form. Arjuna is asking the question in this regard. Those who have the book, please open it. 12th chapter, the beginning. Arjuna is inquiring which is considered to be the more perfect, those who are properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman or unmanifested. So this is the question that is raised by Arjuna. For that, the Lord is answering here whether one should worship the impersonal form of the Lord, or one should do the devotional service, the direct devotional service. Then he is answering this. Those who are fixing their mind on the personal form of the Lord are worshipping me, and that faith, that transcendental faith, are considered by me to be the most perfect. So clear, this is the first stage where a person comes to the devotional service. When a person begins his spirituality, there is a tendency towards the impersonalism. The people will think that ultimately God is power, God is energy. But Krishna is telling the perfect understanding of the Lord is in the personal form, that is Bhagavan realization. So here Krishna is clarifying that. Now, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhakti Yoga is explained, and especially it is speaking from chapter number 7 to 12. So where it is told, the 6th chapter, last shloka, Samya Yukta Tamo Mataha, the greatest yogi. Who is the greatest yogi? One who thinks of Krishna always. And the beginning of 12th chapter is also similar. Teme Yukta Tama Mataha. There it was Samya Yukta Tamo Mataha. Here it is Teme Yukta Tama Mataha. It is very much similar. That means the end of the Ashtanga Yoga, which is the Samadhi, complete absorption in the thoughts of the Lord, is considered as the most perfect spirituality. That is the ultimate goal of the Ashtanga Yoga. But for a Bhakti Yogi, that is the beginning. For a person who is practicing devotional service, his mind is automatically attracted to the Lord. And that is the basic need, or the basic qualification for a person to perform devotional service. So in this way, you can see the 12th chapter is beginning with the same word that Krishna has spoken at the end of the 6th chapter. So what we can understand here, keeping the mind at the lotus feet of the Lord is the perfection of all the yoga. And that is very easily one can achieve through the Bhakti Yoga. And one can achieve this also through the other process of yoga. But there it will be the ultimate goal of the process or the yoga. When he comes to the Samadhi state, he is completely absorbed in the thought of the Lord. But what is the problem? If there are two paths, I can go to any of the paths. Then somebody may think like that. But it is not so, because the process is not same. Even though the goal is same, or the perfection can be achieved in both the cases, it is not possible for everyone. What is the reason? Krishna is explaining here in the text number 5, if you see. Klesho adhikataras tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhir avapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. The word you can see, Dehavadbhir avapyate, or embodied. The living entity, they are embodied. We all have this body. This body is given to us. This actually doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the nature, this material nature. And according to the karma, this body is given. Just like we say empowered. Empowered means the person doesn't have that much of energy or capacity, but he is given through some higher authority to have that energy. That's called empowerment. Similarly here, embodiment. That means this body doesn't belong to me, but I have got this body. But because this body I'm having, I can relate to another person very easily. But I cannot relate to another impersonal form. Just like I can have the loving affection with another person, but I cannot have it with a impersonal object. Just like I cannot love the sky because there is no personal relationship. It's a vast covering over my head. I don't have any personal aspect to exchange. Dadati, pratigrahanati, guhyamakhyati prichati, bhungte bhojete chaiva, shadvida priti lakshana. This priti lakshana is not possible with the impersonal form. So devotion is very easy when we have a person. And after all, the devotion means the love. The love which we show towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called as Bhakti. So Bhakti becomes very easy when we have a person, or when we are able to exchange the loving affection with another person. The Bhakti is possible. Otherwise, a person has to do a lot of endeavor. Here, generally, what happens? The senses will glide downwards because it doesn't have a higher taste in the process of impersonal practice. The person, he is going against his mind or the senses, the flow of the senses or mind. But in the devotional service, the mind and senses are engaged in the service of the Lord. So it is very easy to follow. But in impersonalism, there is klesha. Klesha, why? Because the common tendency, the normal tendency of the senses and the mind is to find a person, is to love a person. But I have to stop that, and I have to take a complete another U-turn, and I have to take it to the impersonal form. So there the understanding is very difficult, and there is no pleasure. There is no enjoyment, because variety is the enjoyment, mother of enjoyment, Srila Prabhupada says. Because there is no variety in the impersonal form, because there is no exchange, the person can fall down at any moment of time. And it is not possible for small children or those who are in the city or those who are working like karmis. For them, this is a dream. They will never be able to achieve this. Nobody can take to this kind of process. This is only for those who are willing to go to forest, give up all the relationships in the material world among all relatives, and then practice this. And finally, the result is also uncertain. He may fall down at any moment. This we have seen in the past. There are so many people who fell down because of the practice of this impersonalism. And impersonalism is imperfect. Impersonalism also, if it has to come to the perfect state, it has to come to the state of devotion. Ashtanga Yoga, if somebody has to come to the perfection, then he has to come to the samadhi state. And what is that samadhi? A person is able to see the form of the Lord at his heart. When a person clears the pratyahara stage, and when he comes to the dharana, he should begin the meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord. Then gradually he moves upwards. then when he comes to the samadhi state, a complete form of the Lord should be visible at his heart. That is nothing but personal form. It is not impersonal. So unless there is a tinge of love, there is a tinge of devotion, the impersonal practice is imperfect. We have the example of 4 Kumaras. The Chatush Kumara, they were having impersonal tendency in the beginning. But when they saw the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Vaikuntha and the Tulasi offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, the fragrance of that, when it enters through their nostril, they become devotees. Their spiritual practice comes to a perfect state. So in this way, personalism or devotion to the personal form of the Lord is recommended in all places. And even if somebody takes to impersonal path, it is the perfection when they get come to the devotional life only, when they come to the personal form. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. Anybody would like to read this can raise their hand. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
The individual soul is embodied since time immemorial. It is very difficult for him to simply theoretically understand that he is not the body. Therefore, the Bhakti Yogi accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable because there is some bodily conception fixed in the mind which can be thus applied. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Now, common tendency of every living entity is to find another person, a person like me, a person who is living, who can have some loving relationship with each other. That form or that tendency can be applied to the Lord as well. The divine form of the Lord, which is spiritual, cannot be seen through this material eye. Generally people say, if there is God, why I am not able to see? You are not able to see the Lord because you are not qualified. Similarly, we are also not qualified to see the divine form of the Lord at the present moment. But if we simply live like that, the matter, if we don't work on it, then we will be here only. We will not be able to advance. We will not be able to understand what is Krishna. So for this, to give a solution, the Lord, merciful Lord, will take the form in which we can see him. And that form can be made of a stone or a wood or a metal or a picture or painting. All these forms the Lord will take. And there is no difference between the Lord's name, his form, his paraphernalia, all these things. Whatever belongs to the Lord, it is all the Lord himself. Abhinnatvat namanamini. Now when we see the deity form of the Lord, the Archa Vigraha, the stone may not be alive. The wood or the metal may not be, it is alive. But when we see the form of the Lord in that, we apply the consciousness to it. And it is a fact. Because the Lord is conscious. And we are applying the consciousness to another person. It may be our parents, our family members. We are applying consciousness to them. But actually, that body or our body is not alive. It is a dead matter. Only because there is a spirit soul within that body, the body is showing the symptom of living. We have the living symptoms in the body. But otherwise, this body is always dead. And because we have the tendency to see the living symptoms in a body, and we can easily apply our consciousness towards the form of a person, it is very easy to deal with the deity form of the Lord. And when we have the deity form of the Lord, we can serve him very easily. If we want to offer something to the Lord, we can keep in front of the deity form of the Lord. We can bathe the Lord, we can offer to the bhoga to the Lord, we can dress the Lord, we can decorate the Lord. So all these things are possible through the deity form of the Lord. So that deity form is worshipable. This is a personal worship. This is a personal way of worship. It's not an impersonal way. But in an impersonal way, all these things are not possible. The person is meditating upon something which is not having any form, just like energy, or it is a different kind of meditation, which is very difficult to explain or very difficult to accomplish or to think of. So that's why Krishna is telling here, the impersonal worship is very difficult. This is the first question, that is the first doubt that somebody may have with them, that Krishna is clarifying, because he is going to explain much more about the personal worship in the next coming portion of this 12th chapter. Because if you see the general population at the present society, most of them are atheists, and those who are having some belief in spirituality, they will say that ultimately God is energy. Ultimately, God is some light. In that way, they speak. So Krishna is breaking that argument or the understanding. He is very clearly saying that the personal worship is easier and it is more perfect as compared to the impersonal worship of the Lord. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of Spring God. God will accept service through that form. The Lord is omnipotent, all-powerful. Therefore, by his incarnation as Archa Vigraha, he can accept the services of the devotee just to make it convenient for a man in conditioned life. 12.5 purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. The Lord is present everywhere. The Lord is present in each and every atom. Those who are having that vision, they can see the Lord everywhere. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Those who are able to see the Lord everywhere, they are very rare. We cannot find them. But generally, the tendency of the people to see the Lord in a form of that Archa Vigraha. So the temple, when we come to the temple, the environment is more conducive for our spiritual practice, so that we can see the Lord there. A pure devotee of the Lord, wherever he may be, he will make that place into Vaikuntha. He will make that place into Vrindavana. That Srila Prabhupada says, I never went out of Vrindavana, even though he has gone all over the world 14 times. He has told, I never gone out of Vrindavana. That means he has taken Vrindavana everywhere. He has carried Vrindavana at his heart. But generally, the people who are very beginners like us, we need this Archa Vigraha, so that we can easily meditate on the Lord, we can see the Lord, we can offer ourselves the service to the Lord, and we can have the devotional exchange with the Lord. All these are possible. For that, the Lord has taken this incarnation. It's called Archa Vigraha. Now, in the next shloka, 6th and 7th, Lord is explaining how he is going to deliver the devotee who is going to surrender to him. Tesham aham samuddharta mrityu samsara sagarat. This is 12.6 to 7. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya paraha Ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate. Teshamaham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. For them, I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. The translation says like that. For one who worshipped me, giving up all his activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, who has fixed his mind upon me, O son of Pritha, for him I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. We can see here the Lord Vishnu is coming on the sitting on the Garuda, and he is delivering the devotee. A person may be very good in swimming, or he may be very good at crossing over the small river, but one cannot cross over the ocean. That is not possible. This material world is called as Bhavasagara. It's compared to the ocean. Nobody can cross over the ocean. So whatever skill one may be having, or whatever spiritual advancement a person may be capable of doing, he cannot cross over the material world, or he cannot go back to Godhead by his own endeavor. So what Krishna is telling here, one has to surrender to Krishna. For those people, Krishna will personally come and he will deliver them. We have a small activity here. Read the purport, the same purport, 6 to 7, and discuss its significance. So the activity is, you have to find out the points where Srila Prabhupada is telling about how Krishna comes. Please keep yourself muted. How Krishna is helping the devotees who come to him, and he's telling that I am the swift deliverer. So how is it? What are the different points that we can find out? You all can read the purport. I have already given the reading activity for this purport. So this is a group activity. I'll make the breakout room. There are 19 people. So shall I make 4 groups? Is it okay? Muralidhar Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yes.
So 3 minutes for the discussion and 2 minutes for presentation. Is there any questions, any doubts? Otherwise, you can lower your hand. Okay, if there are no more questions, then we shall. Okay, Sarita Mataji. Yeah, please unmute yourself.
No, Prabhuji, no doubt. My hand is not coming down.
Okay, okay. So time starts now. You can get.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Priya Chaitanya Shivasari Gaurabhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivastava Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna. Welcome back to the discussion. Yes, text number 6 and 7. Yes, Deepti Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Prabhuji, we had lots of discussions in the group. So I'll just try to cover these. So Prabhuji, the first point is, as it is really mentioned that, as you rightly said, that this is a Bhav Sagara. So it becomes very difficult. We cannot cross this ocean of material existence through our own endeavors. But if we surrender to the Lord, so the Lord promises that He will personally come on his carrier Garuna, and He will deliver us. And how it happens is, for the devotee, through his devotional service, this entire world, this entire ocean, it becomes very small, just like a calf's footprint, and it becomes very easy for us to cross this ocean, because then personally the Lord also comes and He promises this. So the assurance is given as a promise by Him, and when we become for the devotees, it is similarly, it is like as the child, he is scared by his parents, and so he becomes very protected. He feels very protected. Similarly, the devotee also feels very protected with the help of devotional service. And not only that, the purpose of a devotee is to please the Lord by all means. So, and this happens like, if we continue our occupation, any profession, but we have to focus our consciousness should be in such a way that we always try to please the Lord. And we can do this. It starts from Cheto Darpan Marjanam, as it is like cleansing of all the dust that has been accumulated through the transcendental chanting of the Lord. Because when we do that, it helps us in purifying us. At the same time, our association with the Lord, it helps us in attracting. It attracts us to the Lord. So this is one of the most important point. And the life mission of a devotee becomes just to please Krishna, as Arjuna also did. So Arjuna, he was like completely surrendered to the Lord. And the key point is, if we do not surrender to the Lord, because since we are the marginal entity, so if we don't surrender to the Lord, ultimately we are going to go towards the marginal, to the Bahiranga Shakti, towards the Bahiranga Shakti. So until and unless we devote ourselves, it becomes very difficult to go out of this material world. Otherwise, we'll keep coming and going down from this material world, just like a Ferris wheel, actually. So not only that, for a devotee, basically, all the benefits which are derived from performing various fruitive activities or through the different yoga mystic processes, all the benefits are completely derived in one go, because the ultimate purpose of all the processes is the perfect realization of the abode of the kingdom of Godhead. So this is totally achieved by the Lord in case if we do the devotional service of the Lord. So, and that is why the Lord gives the assurance and the final instruction, that is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Charanam Vrajah Aham Tuam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shuchah. So surrender to me. Leave all the engagements and just surrender unto me. And the Lord gives assurance that He will deliver us from this ocean of material existence. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sureshwar Priya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Actually, in my group, Harini Devi Dasi Mataji and also Sarita Mataji, we three were there, and they had given me some points. I'm just representing them, that's all. Now, this devotional service is supposed to be the simplest type of process by which we can certainly get Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna will be very much pleased by when a devotee is performing devotional service. It's a simple process, anybody can follow it. And again, if we are not serving Lord Krishna, then we will be definitely serving Maya. Then another thing we found, during devotional service, our mind is fully fixed in Lord Krishna. And when we are fixing our mind in Lord Krishna, that is supposed to be the highest standard, and He will be revealed so much, or we will have a better realization compared to the impersonal Brahman realization. Then the only desire of the devotee is to serve Krishna, nothing else. He will be working for the satisfaction of Lord Krishna. Then the process is very simple, I said. Then He is definitely promising us that he will deliver the devotee from the ocean of birth and death. Then again, for yogis and those who are doing other practices, for them there is no guarantee. They have to endeavor themselves to get liberated. For a devotee, it is not a question. If he is fortunate, he will be delivered by Lord Krishna alone by concentrating his activities towards Lord Krishna. Then another one, there is an analogy given, that is, a child will be protected by his parents. The child need not bother about who will protect him, because parents are always taking care of them. So we are just like the children of God, and God will definitely take care of us. So there is no tension as such. Then again, another thing, see, if we are intelligent, we will follow the direct path of worship, that is devotional service. And we will not go to the difficult path where there is no guarantee. And it is time consuming. We may require so many lifetime to come to the perfectional stage. And that is an incomplete way of understanding the Lord. The perfect way is supposed to be, and the complete way is the devotional service. Then, as Mataji said right now, Sarvadharman Parityajam, he has given us the assurance through this particular shloka. And again, the easiest way, one of the easiest way, we can say, chanting of the holy name that contains Lord Krishna himself. So when he chant, he will be before us. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Muralidhar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Our group had Dr. Sarita Pradoshji, Dhanvantri Prabhuji, and Madhuri Mataji. And I've been designated to give some points. Quickly summarizing the points which have been already been covered earlier. Top priorities: are you fully devoted to Krishna? And can you fix your mind fully on Krishna? Work for Krishna, only Krishna. The life mission is to please Krishna and only Krishna. Sacrifice everything to Krishna, again, only Krishna. So devotee, in his occupation, he may devote to his occupation and engage in chanting. That also guarantees a deliverance. And here, the deliverance is guaranteed by none other than Krishna himself. And just be ready to accept the guarantee and be devoted on the path of devotion. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Giridhar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. You can switch on your video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being a living entity, our duty is to only engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Else we will only be doing service to Maya, which will end up in being born again in the life cycle of birth and death, repeated birth and death process. And once we engage in the devotional services regularly, God gives us assurance that He will deliver us from this material world. And Prabhupada gives an analogy here. A person may be very experienced in swimming. Even if he is put in the ocean, if he falls in the ocean, he has to be rescued by a person. And likewise, God is the only person, Krishna is the only one who can rescue us from this material world. And finally, I conclude by saying we have to take shelter of the Lord, which is the highest perfection of life.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So, having understood the benefits of practicing Krishna consciousness, next Krishna will explain how to achieve this personal devotion to the Lord. It's called Ananya Bhakti. In the beginning, Krishna has very clearly told it is the devotional service to the personal form of the Lord. And in the second state, he has told the practice that we do. Just a minute. When we practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna will personally come and deliver us. Next, continuing further, Muralidhar Prabhu, you can read this.
One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life, Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the supreme omnipotent Godhead Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. 12.6 and 7 purport. Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada is telling, direct path is there. Just take to it and go back to Godhead. That is the easiest way. That is the intelligent way. Just like you take the elevator and you can go up to the whichever floor you want, instead of taking the steps. That is the gradual process. So in this way, Krishna is encouraging us. Now, what we have studied till now, the first seven texts have told the bhakti, importance of bhakti over the impersonalism. And in the next coming steps, we are going to see what are the progressive stages of devotional service or devotional practice. Then in the final part, the third part, Krishna is explaining what are the different qualities that endear one to Krishna. That means if we want to become dear to Krishna, these are the qualities that we must develop. When a person comes to Krishna consciousness, or when he decides to practice the spiritual life, he has to do certain austerity. You have to give up something. You have to accept something. Certain things which are unfavorable to the devotional life, you have to give up, and certain things which are favorable towards the advancement of spirituality, one has to take it. So in this way, the person who is practicing Krishna consciousness is doing some adjustment in his life, in his lifestyle. Similarly, Krishna is also making some arrangement when a person tries to come to him. He has kept the highest platform, that is Ananya Bhakti, unalloyed devotional service. The Srila Prabhupada coined this word, unalloyed. Just like any other metal which is not pure, which is mixed with other metals, they are called as alloyed. Unalloyed means the devotional service which is not mixed with anything else. One doesn't have any material desire or any no desire for any material gain or personal gain. Completely surrender to Krishna. That is called as unalloyed devotional service, Ananya Bhakti. That is the highest state. But Krishna is not expecting us to come to that platform at the in the beginning step itself. He is making the process easy. In whatever state one may be, in whatever level or consciousness a person may be at the present moment, how he can take to this devotional service, and gradually how the person can advance towards this Ananya Bhakti or unalloyed devotional service. That will be explained in this part of the Bhagavad Gita, progressive stages of devotional service. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Krishnized. The holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. Krishna directly accepts these eatables and devotee becomes Krishnized by eating the remnants. Hare Krishna, 12.8 purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is telling here, when we are chanting the holy name of the Lord, Krishna is dancing on the tongue of the devotee. So what is more glorious than this? This is like we are having the direct contact with the Lord. This is the most fortunate condition for any person. And when we are eating the Krishna Prasadam, we become Krishnized. That is, we get Krishna. That there is no difference between Krishna and Krishna Prasadam. So we have to take the Prasadam we have to honor the Prasadam. That means with respect, we have to accept the Prasadam. And by taking Prasadam, gradually we will improve or we will advance in our spiritual life. So this is a direct process. So these are the stages that are explained. Text number 11 says that karma phala tyaga, that is giving up the results. Then jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga. Better than that is matkarma, krishna karma. Before that, the sadhana bhakti, that is practice. And text number 8 is speaking about the mind is completely fixed in the krishna conscious activities. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. These are the 5 levels of bhakti or practice of krishna consciousness. The people in Vrindavana, the people in the spiritual world, they are completely Krishnized, or their mind is completely fixed in Krishna's service. They are in the perfect Krishna conscious state. They will never forget Krishna even for a moment also. So that is the highest level of Krishna consciousness. But what happens, the people who are beginners like us, we need sometimes some break from our practice of Krishna consciousness. We cannot practice or we cannot remember Krishna always. We remember Krishna while chanting in the morning. That is also very difficult. And throughout the day, we may or may not think about him. We may or may not remember him. For us, this second level is told. The next text it is telling about sadhana bhakti, that is called as practice. Abhyasa yogena. How it has to be done? It has to be done under the guidance of a spiritual master. When a child is not willing to go to the school, parents will push the child. You have to go. Otherwise, I will beat him. I will beat you. Otherwise, your teacher will beat you. If you don't go, then she will scold you. Like that, we say something, we do something. Somehow you have to push the child so that the child will go to the school. The child is not going to school out of own willing. She or he is going to school only because parents are pushing or the school is pulling him. That's why he or she is going to school. That is called sadhana bhakti. In the beginning, we are not willing to get up so early in the morning and chant 16 rounds sitting in one place. It is so difficult, and I have to give up my association of so many friends. I cannot go to movies, and so many things we give up. So this is all coming under sadhana bhakti. Get up early in the morning, chant 16 rounds, so eat only Krishna prasadam, and don't do anything that is which will deviate us from Krishna bhakti. Our chanting will become good when we have a good practice of devotional life. The chanting, it is like whatever we do throughout the day, it will be tested at the time of chanting. If we spend a day in a sattvic environment, in a sattvic mentality, in a mood, then the next morning our chanting will be good. And if we are having bad association, or if we are getting into so many vices on a particular day, the next chanting will be affected. It will not be good. It will not be clean, or it will not be so much conscious. So the chanting and the lifestyle of a devotee is very much connected to each other. And the 10 offenses which are there, they all are committed not during chanting. They are committed when we are not chanting. That means when we are leading other timings, other time of the day, when we are working, that time these offenses may happen. Blaspheming the devotees, that is the first offense. So how it is happening? We will not blaspheme the devotee, or will not do anything as such while chanting, because while chanting we are busy and comparing the Lord to demigods, or disobeying the spiritual master. These all offenses, it happens not during that 2-hour period of time when we are chanting. These things are happening when we are doing other activities in the entire day. So in that sense, we can say the whole day is a preparation for the chanting. When we are spending that day in a right manner, in a devotional spirit, then our chanting will be good. And if we are spending our day negligently, we are not taking care properly, we are not following the instructions, then it will be reflected in our chanting. So sadhana, how much sadhana we are doing, how we are advancing in our spirituality, it is directly depending on how we are taking the instructions of spiritual master and how sincerely we following them. So that is the sadhana bhakti. Practice it, abhyasa. By practice, it will come. Gradually, we will develop love for Krishna. Just like the children, in the beginning, they don't go to school on their own, but later on, they will go. Nobody will stop them. Even if you say, today you don't go to school, but the child will say, no, I have to go, I have homework. And if I don't go, I will miss the class. And so many things it will tell. Because now it has understood what is the importance of going to school. So similarly, as we practice sadhana, then our chanting becomes fixed and we cannot come back. We are not willing to come back. We have understood the benefits of chanting and we keep chanting continuously. But for certain people, this may not be also possible. I'm not able to chant 16 rounds because so many activities are there. I'm too busy. I have to go early in the morning to office, and in office also I have a lot of work, and I come late to the home and I'm not able to chant my 16 rounds, and evening I will be very tired. In that case, what I have to do? Then Krishna comes one level down again. We should understand Krishna has set the bar at the Ananya Bhakti. So reaching Ananya Bhakti is the highest. We should not say that I will remain in Sadhana Bhakti. That is not the highest. Sadhana Bhakti is the means to attain this Ananya Bhakti. Similarly, this Mat Karma Krit, this is the means to attain Sadhana Bhakti and then go to Ananya Bhakti. So these all are like ladder. One should gradually progress. So if somebody is not able to follow all the regulatory principles or chant 16 rounds, for them Krishna is telling, Mat Karma Krit, Krishna Karma, work for me. You have to act for me. Whatever you do, you offer it to me. So if you are not able to practice spirituality, you are not able to make your activity into Krishna consciousness, but you offer your activity, whatever you are doing, that you offer to me, so that you will come to me one day. This is like the Nishkama Karma. A person may be good at certain things, so that he can offer to Krishna. Every living entity in this world has got one or the other talent, because of which he is able to fill his belly. He is able to earn. So that Krishna has given to everyone. So whatever Krishna has given, whatever facility that Krishna has given, use it in the service of Lord. When we offer this activity, when we offer this karma to the Lord, the fruit of the karma, the activity to the Lord, then gradually he will develop love for the Lord, because we are attached to the result of the activity, the fruits of activity. Because we have attached to it, we are working. We are working because there is some profit. But if there is no profit, nobody will work. And Krishna is telling, you offer that profit to me. And your attachment is there with the profit, and you're offering the profit to Krishna. So your attachment goes to Krishna. Because the result of my activity takes my attention, and that activity, the result will go to Krishna, the attention also goes to Krishna. So in this way, the mind gradually gets fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he will decide, okay, let me directly serve Krishna. Let me take to Krishna consciousness. Let me take to the regulatory principles. So gradually he will develop the sadhana bhakti. But this also may not be possible for some time. Sometimes there are family problems. The faith may not agree. The environment at home may not agree, or the person may not have the freedom. A person may not be able to come out of the house only. He may not be able to make any activity which is offerable to Krishna. So in such cases, again Krishna comes to another step down. What he says, you develop jnana, or the Ashtanga Yoga process, one step below. When we develop the knowledge will give you the kindleness. It will kindle the eagerness to serve Krishna. You understand what is the need for serving Krishna. You understand who you are. You understand why you are here. What is the cause of the bondage and how one can come out of this bondage. When a person gets all this knowledge, then there is an endeavor to come out of it. Then gradually he can come to sadhana bhakti, or he can at least do matkarma, then come to sadhana bhakti. So all our problems are because of the ignorance. We don't know what is the importance of spirituality. If we understand the importance of spirituality, and if we really know that I have bound here, I am a prisoner here, this material world is a prison house, I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. We know this, we have heard it so many times in Bhagavad Gita class, but still we have not realized, sincerely speaking. If we are realized, then our activities will be different. It will not be like this. We will not be planning for sense gratification. We will not be planning for going away from Krishna at any moment. But still we are at that platform. We are still thinking of sense gratification means we have only theoretical knowledge. We are not really understood. So develop that knowledge which can help one to come to Krishna consciousness. Then if you are not able to do that also, then karma phala tyaga. This karma phala tyaga means you just give up the result. Here it is not told to give to Krishna only. You just don't enjoy the material pleasure or the result of your activity. Just give it to some good cause. So this is the lowest platform where people say that the social activity or the do good for the society. Whatever you have earned, you give to some people, some poor people. You can give them education, you can give them food, you can give them clothes, you can provide. This is social welfare activity. The social welfare activity is the lowest, that is Krishna is telling. From there, one has to come to the higher platforms. So in this way, one can come to the Krishna consciousness gradually. So in whatever place a person may be, in whatever level a person may be, he can gradually come to the Ananya Bhakti. At the present moment, we are very fortunate to have the association of devotees, and we got the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, and because of that we have taken to the sadhana bhakti and we are able to practice this. So gradually, if we practice this by the mercy of Lord and Krishna and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, one day we will also come to the highest platform of Ananya Bhakti. That is possible. Srila Prabhupada has promised, whoever practices this Krishna consciousness by chanting 16 rounds daily and reads my books 2 hours, definitely he will go back to Godhead. So that is a promise Srila Prabhupada has made. So it is not by us, but at least by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, this movement, it is called as mercy movement. We are not capable or we are not qualified to go to Krishna, but because the pure devotees of the Lord, they are very compassionate. They can't see the fallen conditioned soul suffering in this material world. So they will try to deliver us. So by taking the advantage of this, by taking the advantage of association of devotees, we should all try to advance in the spiritual life. So Krishna made it easy, and it is up to us whether to take it or not. So here you can say this is the indirect process, that is Ashtanga Yoga or Karma Phala Tyaga. And this is the direct process when a person is directly working for Krishna, that is Mat Karma. And this is indirect process. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In summary, to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal, there are two processes. One process is by gradual development, and the other process is direct. Devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the direct method. Hare
Continue,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Okay. The other method involves renouncing the fruits of one's activities. Then one can come to the stage of knowledge, then to the stage of meditation, then to the stage of understanding the super soul, and then to the stage of supreme personality of Godhead.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So
Hare
this is the yoga ladder, how a person gradually comes to Krishna consciousness. One can directly take to Krishna consciousness, or he can gradually take to the process and develop Krishna consciousness, the love of Godhead. So here it is. First Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. This is already explained in the previous lessons, so I'm not going to explain once more. So here is the activity. Read the verses and purports to 12.10 and 11. Discuss the relevance of these verses in relation to ISKCON's strategies for spreading Krishna consciousness. Text number 10 and 11. Abhyasa. Abhyasepi asamarthosi matkarma paramo bhava madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsasi. This is about the Abhyasa platform, the second platform. If you cannot practice the second one, Abhyasa Yogena. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the stage of perfection. And next, if you are not able to, if however you are unable to work in this consciousness, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. So these are the two texts that is mentioned here. How it is relevant in the ISKCON's strategy for spreading Krishna consciousness? This is the question. So you have to read these two verses and purports and come up with the points. Anybody has any doubts, any questions regarding the activity? You can raise your hand. Okay, I'll make 4 breakout rooms, 3 minutes for discussion and 2 minutes for presentation.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Welcome back. Okay, let us see what are the strategies for preaching in ISKCON. Yeah, Sarita Mataji, you can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, yes, Prabhuji. So we discussed on this 12.10 and 12.11. So basically 12.10 speaks about the Nishkama Karma Yoga. So where one is not able to follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna gives an option like you can go for at least work for Krishna. So where Prabhupada also gives in the purport like how one can engage, because he is not able to do the sadhana bhakti. So then he can engage if his money, mind, and intelligence, right? If somebody is having a mind, he can engage in preaching, and intelligence he can use in the preaching. And if he has a money, he can give in the publication or in construction of temple for Krishna, or office for Krishna, or in the land and organization and labor. So these things are one can invest their money. So instead of engaging in the sense gratification, the person can use the same thing in the helping Krishna and propagating Krishna consciousness. So basically, we have the examples from our Shastras, where our all acharyas, if we say Sanatana Goswami or Rupa Goswami, so all are very come from our aristocratic family, but then they have given most of their money to propagate this Krishna consciousness. So we have their examples. They have showed how they live their life, and also we know like Amrish Das, so who has given like more than 350-500 crores to the Mayapur temple, which is coming TOVP. So similarly, to purify ourselves, so that is the way. So some part of the money or some percentage we can give it to Krishna. So this is the 12.10 verse speaks about Prabhuji. And then in 12.11, where Krishna speaks about Sakama Karma, where the person is not directly giving any to Krishna, because that mentality is not there. That can be any, it could be because of various reasons. He may not have a belief or in Krishna or in the Vedic scriptures. But then still, if he is engaged in giving up fruits of action, his fruits, and that will purify his mind. So to purify one's mind, then the person can engage, but this is still a lower compared to Nishkama Karma. But then gradually the person will come to the level of Nishkama Karma. So he can give, do the charity in social service or community-based services, or serving for the country. All these things come under Sakama Karma. So when we can stress on this, I mean, if I have to say like how ISKCON has to strategize, then we can, when we say this during the class, when we take, right? So we can stress on that, how that the charity or doing the just doing good for others, this is not on a highest platform as per the scriptures. So, and then we can also give the examples from the Shastras. And yes, Prabhuji, I think.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
He has mentioned quite a bit, Prabhuji. That is what is given in the 2 verses. But just to add, like Krishna conscious people, those who are elevated, along with that I'm adding, because I don't want to repeat them. And about the people, those who are elevated and those are totally into Krishna consciousness, are themselves going and distributing the books to the society and instigating people to read it and come into the Krishna consciousness. But those people, like Namanishta Prabhu tells so many incidences what had happened when he was distributing the books. So in that case, when we are not so elevated like us, who are not directly able to, but then we can help in propagating that. So the propagation of Krishna consciousness is a very, very integral part of ISKCON, that how it can be helped out. Otherwise, like we can do that thing that we can buy some books and give it to the people, those who are distributing it to them. So we will be indirectly instrument for helping out, but not directly. So that is helping in the propagation of the Krishna consciousness. Then to build the temple, such a big temple is coming up, where so thousands of people will take advantage of even going and staying there at Mangalore. So if we are not able from remote, we are not able to help it directly. So that is how it works out, that if you are a part of the society, or if you have going into that path, it's always, if you can monetarily help or anyway other help it in maybe a drop in the ocean also makes a difference. So that may help out to increase the awareness of Krishna consciousness. So that is what ISKCON has been doing it, building temples, bringing libraries, building up other books. And plus the live example is what we are attending the classes. Now that is, ISKCON is only doing it to propagate the Krishna consciousness. As for the question you wanted to help, how ISKCON is working for it. So that we all been benefited. We have all come into this just because the mercy of the acharyas and from Namanishta Prabhu, where we came into this education of Krishna consciousness. We were not aware of it. Then they say that it is okay if you materialistically, if you are not able to directly do it, give up your part of your income, give up what you are earning, give it in the monetary form, and do a nishkam karma. Like you don't see that I have done and it is my property. So no proprietorship should be there of what we are doing it, and it has to be donated to it. Then if you are not able to do that way, and if there are social and familial considerations and religious conditions where your family doesn't allow or where others do not cooperate, then you can whatever you are doing it, do it for a good cause, and that give it that cause to Krishna only. Let it be that everything, just offer it to Krishna. Don't take the enterprisingship up into yourself that you are the one doing it. And then whatever work is, it may be in the form of social community, but that will only help us to elevate. It will not be directly, but it might bring us slowly to the Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So everything is covered actually. But one point is everybody has a peculiar talent in them. So one might be good in dancing, one might be good in singing, one might be good in orating. One might be a good orator. So if you are a good orator, you can take up preaching activity. If you are good at singing, you can perform. You can become a kirtanian. So this way we can conduct kirtan parties in probably schools, colleges, anywhere, and then that way we can propagate Krishna consciousness. And using various instruments, we can use Western instruments also, because a lot of youth is attracted to Western instruments. So just modernizing our way of Krishna consciousness, preaching it. And then ISKCON is also supporting Akshay Patra, right? Donating Krishna Prasadam, feeding Krishna Prasadam. So giving Krishna Prasadam means giving Krishna Bhakti. So this is the most simplest way and most alluring way, because everybody wants to eat good food. So this way, if we give Krishna Prasadam to people, we are actually propagating Krishna consciousness. And one example is if we don't have money to maintain our temple or anything as such, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj used to work in a restaurant and then use his salary, to develop the temple and all that. So this way also we can donate our percentage of salary, or complete, if not complete salary, at least some percentage of it to propagate Krishna consciousness. And if that is not possible, then yeah, the least we can do is for a good cause, social service activities, because even social service activities takes us to Krishna, because every person in need also has Paramatma in them, and serving that person means serving Krishna, but that is a gradual process. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I think most of it is already talked about. The only thing which I want to talk it from, the verse 10 is Prabhupada has said, books are my basis, print the books. So, these books have been the basis for spreading this knowledge. People who were materialistic, but anyone who has got in touch with the books of Prabhupada, their lives have changed. And they have played a very important role in spreading the Krishna consciousness and understanding the essence of the lost message of the Shastras, the disciplic succession, which is very emphatically mentioned in Srila Prabhupada's books, the Acharyas of Gaudiya Vaishnava, that we can see it has got revived after reading Prabhupada's books. I'm not going to touch the other points because they have already been talked about. Yes, contributing through even doing some service at the temple also is one of the ways, like preparing bhoga for Lord, doing some temple cleaning, or create of course sending, we talked about building the temples or giving donations, that is so that can be used in the benefit, performing festivals. One important thing is how ISKCON is helping the festivals. We'll see so many festivals, and as you said in the class, variety. People, otherwise you go, and if it's just okay chanting and all, probably people will do for some time, but unless and until there is a variety, it will not, people will not get motivated and all. And festivals are really helping the community, helping the devotees to meet and then celebrate. So that is one. And text 11, some points from text 11. Yes, many of us see, if there are challenges people have through family, or they are not able to perform it, but if they are doing something, the welfare of some welfare work, and through the welfare work, some point in time, if they have done without taking any credit for them, they will develop that loving affection for Lord. So that's all I want to say, because I think most of the things have been covered by others. Shri Haripriya Mataji and Dipti Mataji and Guru Prabhu, you want to add to?
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dipti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanapranam. Thank you, Mataji. Actually, Prabhuji, everybody has covered the points perfectly well. They are so nice, and even Mataji has covered. I would just like to add one thing. On top of this, that all of us know that Lord Vishnu, Lord Shri Krishna is the Yajna Purusha, and we are in this material world. So we are matter, as you mentioned, we are dead matter. It's only because of spirit soul that we are really conscious. So when we try to dovetail everything for the Lord, everything becomes supreme. As we have also studied that the consuming agent, the consumer, the hota, havan, everything becomes, they ultimately they regain their spiritual quality. And that is the least that we can do, we can offer to the Lord, because he doesn't need anything. It's only because of us that this entire material world was created. So once we do that, at least we'll be able to regain our own spiritual qualities, basically. So that is what I wanted to say. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody would like to? Radha Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Progressive stages of devotion, 12.8 to 12. One may take either the step-by-step process or the direct path. The direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect process is also good as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned. It is the direct method that is best. Everyone is advised to take to the direct method and surrender onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. 12.12 purport. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. So with this, we have come to the second topic we have covered, that is progressive stages of devotion. Then last one more topic is there, that is qualities that has to be developed by a devotee. Maybe we can have a kirtan now, short kirtan. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Dipti Sahu Mataji, you may make her the co-host.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Yeah, done.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, do I need to share the screen as well? Or the...
Yes, please, please.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah, I will share. So this is the bhajan that I'll be performing. This is the kirtan. It's Radha Krishna Pranam. Kindly excuse me for the mistake, please. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tadini नमो महावद्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदाय कृष्ण कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरव तुष्ये नमः नमो ब्रह्मण्य देवाय को ब्रह्मण्य ताय कृष्ण गोविंदाय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। जीवने मरने गति आरो नहीं मोरा। जीवने मरने गति आरो नहीं मोरा। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। कालिंदीर कूले किली कदम्बेर वाना। कालिंदीर कूले किली कदम्बेर वाना। रतन बिदीरा उपार बोसा बुधु जना। रतन बिदीरा उपार बोसा बुधु जना। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। श्यामा गौरी अंगे दिवो चदनेर गंधा। श्यामा गौरी अंगे दिवो चंदनेर गंधा। चामर ढुलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्रा। चामर ढुलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्रा। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। गातिया माला तीरमाला विबुधुहार गले। गातिया माला तीरमाला विबुधुहार गले। अधरे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूर तंबूले। अधरे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूर तंबूले। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। ललिता विशाखा आदि जत सखी वृंदा। ललिता विशाखा आदि जत सखी वृंदा। अज्ञाय कुरीबो सेवा चरनर विंदा। अज्ञाय कुरीबो सेवा चरनर विंदा। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेर अनुदास। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेर अनुदास। सेवा अभिलाषा कोरे नरोत्तम दास। सेवा अभिलाषा कोरे नरोत्तम दास राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर जीवने मरने गति आरो नहीं मोरा जीवने मरने गति आरो नहीं मोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर जुगल किशोर Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
thank you Prabhuji. Prabhuji, shall we
Yeah.
read the translation
Yes,
as well?
Mataji.
Translation. The divine couple Shri Shri Radha and Krishna is my life and soul. In life or death, I have no other refuge but them. In a forest of small kadamba trees on the bank of the Yamuna, I'll seat the divine couple on a throne made of brilliant jewels. I'll anoint their dark and fair forms with sandalwood paste scented with tuya, and I will fan them with a charmer whisk. Oh, when will I behold their moonlight faces? After stringing together garlands of malati flowers, I'll place them around their necks, and I will offer tambul scented with camphor to their lotus mouth. With the permission of all the Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishakha, I will serve the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Narottam Das, the servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, longs for this service to the divine couple. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, you can. Okay, now we have the last topic, that is, what are the characteristics that endear a person to Krishna? That is, one makes Krishna, a person becomes dear to Krishna. This is the text from 13 to 20. So here we can see. Anybody would like to read this? You can raise your hand. Text number 13 to 20. Yeah, Sarita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine, very dear to me.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text number 15. He for whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text number 16, right? 17.
Yes,
16.
My devotee, who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares from all the pains and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Radhavallavi Mataji, 17.
One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It is 18 and 19.
Yes.
One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
He who follows this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engages himself with faith, making me the supreme goal, is very dear to me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So in this text, Krishna is explaining how a devotee becomes dear to him. That is, if Krishna has a scheme of valuation, just like we have all done the devotional service to Krishna, and how he will evaluate us, this is how it will be. If we are thinking that I am practicing Krishna consciousness with so many years, why still I am not able to feel the happiness? Why I am not able to get that pleasure that we have in the spiritual life? This is the reason. If we are able to get these qualities, then definitely we are dear to Krishna, and we can evaluate ourselves where we are by reading this. We can all read the purport that Srila Prabhupada has explained in this for all this text and understand. And getting the good qualities, this is like we don't have to endeavor separately to develop these qualities. As a person come to Krishna consciousness, as he gradually develops the devotion to Krishna, the love for Krishna, these qualities will develop within him automatically. The development of these qualities within a person shows that he has devotion to him. He has devotion to Krishna. So in this way, these are the different qualities that one has to develop, which is visible when he comes to Krishna consciousness. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarvai gunaistatra samasate sura. Harau abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasato davato bahi. Any person who practices Krishna consciousness, one who comes to the devotional life, he will have all the good qualities of the demigods. Surasat, all the Yasyasi Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana Samasate Sura. All the good qualities of the demigods will come within him automatically. But one who is not in devotional service, then he has no good quality. So in this way, the good qualities, whatever listed here, these are the characteristics of pure devotees of the Lord that one has to develop. Those who want to read can raise their hand. Jayanti Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. One who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualities. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So in this way, to whatever extent we have developed these qualities, whatever Krishna has listed here, based on that we can understand how much we have become close to Krishna, how much advancement we have achieved in the spiritual platform. So with this, we have come to the end of this 12th chapter and also the end of the unit number 2. Now we have the final activity, that is, if any points that we can discuss here from chapter number 7 to 12 that you have particularly found interesting, you can discuss here. Chapter number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. What are the different points that you find very interesting? You can tell. You can use 1 minute time for each, so everyone will get the opportunity. You can raise your hand. The 7th chapter, which begins with the importance of chanting, importance of hearing the glory of the Lord. Like that, you can go on. Those who want to speak, they can raise their hands. Yeah, Kiruba Shankar Prabhu.
Maybe it is not. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So here Krishna says the easiest way that always try to think of him. Stay in his, keep the mind towards focused with Krishna and chant the holy names to reach him easily without any yoga or tapas or any difficult methods, procedures. Just keep chanting the holy names and stay connected with him. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Krishna has made the process of devotional service very easy so that one can come to him very easily. That is, always think of Krishna by chanting his holy name. Thank you, Prabhu. Jayanti Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Here, now is the chance to come to the speak directly instead of going this way and the other way. And there is not a confusion also for us to reach the street. The only way is the easiest way. That is giving the opportunity also here. He is clearly confirming this. Hare Krishna.
Okay, there is some noise. It's okay. Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In
Hare.
the 7th chapter, it is saying that no, just only hearing and glorifying, that will fulfill the basics of devotional service, and that is the most easiest and one can easily follow. And another thing in today's chapter, that is in 12th chapter, 8th sloka, there again, when we are chanting, Krishna and his internal potency is coming and dancing on our tongue. So I just want to ask a question over here. That is, internal potency means when we are chanting, Radha Krishna comes in our tongue. Is that the meaning of it?
Yes,
internal potency means
the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, in that Hare means Radharani, Krishna means Lord Krishna. So both are there.
Okay. So glorification of Krishna by chanting is the most easiest way, and that is the most perfect way. This is what I understood. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Just a very simple thing which I would like to quote or say. This life, this entire life is just our preparation basically. Our final examination is at the time of death. So whether we are able to remember him is ultimately the main thing, that for which we are really trying to make our journey so smooth and everything. Because not only that, Prabhuji, there are n number of questions which keep coming to my mind sometimes, that is it, there are so many qualities as they are mentioned. So if a person is really not able to attain all these qualities, it's like it will take janmas, to become so efficient. Because obviously we are contaminated souls, because it's very difficult. But still, how is it possible? Still, because the Lord gives assurance to us that even if we are not pure, then still if we are able to remember him at the time of death, he will really take us. He promises he is going to deliver us. So is it that still, because it is mentioned by the Lord, this is the song of God, that he says you have to inculcate all these qualities. So is it like that until and unless we are going to attain all these qualities, we won't be able to remember him? Is it like this?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm asking a question also, because these questions, they keep coming to my mind, that it's very difficult, Prabhuji. It's like on daily basis, sometimes we become angry, even if a small thing is there. So you keep equipoised, and I mean, it's difficult. But we are trying to, inculcate these qualities, but still,
These are the symptoms that will be visible. As Prabhupada says, you don't have to separately endeavor for this. The qualities will develop as we practice Krishna consciousness. But this will definitely indicate where we are. So where we have to work on. Sometimes what happens, people say, I have practiced Krishna consciousness for 10 years, 15 years. Okay, this is enough for me. For such question, this is the answer. If you are developed these qualities, okay, then you are advanced. You can check yourself. Otherwise, these qualities will definitely it will come in the person who is practicing Krishna consciousness, and there is nothing to worry about. We have to only think about how to follow the instructions of Guru. Then all the qualities will develop in a person. We just have to practice Krishna consciousness. As a devotional life, as we go on advancing in spirituality, these qualities will automatically develop. Anybody who is a devotee is already a gentleman. He is already a person who has control over his senses, over his mind. This we can practically see how devotees are well behaved, how they are good in the society. These things we can see. They are different from the other general people. So these qualities are a part of our devotional life.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, in case if we are really not pure enough by the time we age, and I mean, will it be possible for us to remember him? Is or in case if I say, okay, if a person is in devotional service and if he is able to remember him, I mean, even if he has not inculcated all these qualities, will he be able to attain the abode of the Lord or his service of his lotus feet? I mean, it's very tricky, but yeah, it's confusing.
This is where we have to put our faith in the Guru and Krishna. We'll put our faith and they will take care. They have told that they will take care.
Yes,
so
yes.
They will do it. That is the faith that we have.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I would like to add one more thing. I remember, I just stick to this point. Prabhupaji has mentioned, follow the regulative principles, follow the chanting, and I am assuring you are going to reach the abode of the Lord. So yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Radha Vallavi Mataji.
In chapter 8, Krishna says, whatever you offer, if one takes food offered to Krishna, people will become his devotees. Yes. So ISKCON is also doing a lot of work in terms of various programs, Annadhanam, or various programs are being run, wherein food for life programs are there, Akshay Patra is there, so that the society, they may not be devotees directly, but at least making them Krishna conscious. So that is one thing which I wanted to say. And secondly, I wanted to talk about in verse 9, Bhakti Yoga. It's simple. How do we purify the senses? So simple process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and doing Kirtana. So, very simple things, but because our minds are very complex, we think there's, Bhakti means doing very complex things. But Krishna says just chant and dance and then eat prasadam. So it is so easy, to do, but somehow because of our own anarthas and materialistic attitude, we think Bhakti is very difficult. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Muralidhar Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Of course, I feel, do I have trust? Do I have faith in whatever Krishna has said or the Guru has said? The ultimate, and it looks so very easy, just chant my name and you will achieve liberation. It looks very simple, but I have the faith that at the right time, I will be able to remember it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Okay. Any questions in today's session? You can raise your hand. Rakshita Mataji. Unmute yourself. I think you're unmuted, but your voice is not audible. Yes, Mataji.
So I have a question regarding this living entity belongs to superior energy of the Lord or marginal energy of the Lord?
He belongs to the superior energy and he is in contact with the lower energy. So he is called as the marginal. He is the part and parcel of the Lord. He was in the spiritual world. So there is no difference between the Lord and the living entity qualitatively. There is equal. Qualitatively, we are equal to Krishna. So he belongs to the superior nature. But because of his tendency to lord over the material nature, he has been put in this lower form of energy. And this energy, the material energy, even though it is less powerful than the superior energy, but still on the order of Krishna, it is able to control the living entities. So the living entity is called as marginal potency. It is tatastha. He can be just like in the ocean. If you are standing in beach, you can move to the land as well as you can move to the water. Both are possible. So similarly, a jiva, if he wishes, he can go back to Godhead. If he wishes, he can get entangled in this material world. So both are possibilities are there. So he is called as Tatastha Shakti, but he belongs to the superior energy. Correct. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, this is not a question. This is a small clarification from the whole group of a Bhakti Vriksha. It's not me alone. So we had a small discussion regarding the exam coming up. The